you've got D star already. If you have Macaulay duration, you have to change it to modified duration. How do you do that? You divide it by 1 plus 1. Second thing to be careful in these chapter 16 problems, percentage to decimal. Okay? Percentage to decimal. You can get these wrong really easy on an exam. Changing percentages to decimals and decimals to percentage. Okay, you do it. And remember that a basis point equals 1/100th of a percent. These are just little tips. Okay? Now, here's my formula. Here's my arguments list. Here's my setup. My first setup is to take my duration and to calculate modified duration. My duration is 7.194. My y is 0.1. And there's my first calculation. And when I do that first calculation, 7.194 divided by 1, that gives me 6.54. That's D star. Second calculation, right here, delta P over P is equal to minus D star 6.54 times delta y 0.005005 6.54 change signs times 0.005 equals negative 0.0327. I've got a decimal. I need to switch it to a percentage now. Negative 3.27%. What's the percentage change in the price of the bond? It declines by 3.27%. Now, I know what you're saying. Boy, that's sure a lot of writing I have to do, isn't it? I had to write out the formula, I had to write out my variables list and everything else. I can tell you, I've been teaching finance for 37 years, and I can tell you that if you start to get into the habit of doing all of your problems like this, it will result in you getting much, much higher grades on your finance problems, in any finance class. Does everybody understand basically, what I did and how I wrote it out? Yes, they smush a lot of stuff together in these. I don't want you to do that. You can see what they're doing is they're smushing together the modified duration and everything else. I want you to write it out. And do it just like I showed you. Write the formula. Write the list of arguments. Write the setup. And then calculate. You all good on that problem? This will be a problem on the next exam. I will ask you to calculate the percentage change in the price of the bond. Now, let me add something to this problem that's not on the problem, but is easy enough to do. Let me add an additional question to this problem. And that additional question, I'll try to write it up here. If the bond was trading for, let's say, $950, what is its price after the change in interest rates? Okay? After the change in interest rates. If it was trading at $950 before the change in interest rates, what will it be trading at after the change in interest rates? This could possibly be like a part C on this question, okay? And the way that we would do it, the first thing that we would do is we would write out the formula, okay? So the new price of the bond, after the change in interest rates is going to be equal to the old price times 1 plus delta P over P. And remember what delta P over P stands for. The percentage change in the price of the bond. What do we know? We know that, here's my formula, we know that P0 was equal to 950. We know that delta P over P was equal to negative 0.0327. How did we get that? That's what we got from the other problem. Which we got from the last part of the problem. So what is the new price of the bond? Okay, let me do my setup here. The new price of the bond is going to be equal to the old price times 1 plus negative 0.0327. Okay, now, I don't know about you, but whenever I deal with negative numbers, I get them wrong. So I always do it by the calculator. I let my calculator, because it knows about doing that. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this algebra right here. And remember that in algebra, you always have to use the order of operations. Let's do what's inside parentheses first. So 1 plus 0.0327 negative equals, and I like to write it out. I don't like to mush things together. 950 times 0.967. See, I just evaluated what was inside that parenthesis first and put it here, times the old price of the bond, and that gives me the new price of the bond, $918.94. And usually what I do to signal the fact that I've gotten my final answer is I put 2 lines underneath it. That tells me that that's the final answer. So what I'm asking you to do is use a lot of paper. Paper is cheap. I'll give you more paper. Okay, I'll give plenty of space. But I want everybody to really be careful on these calculations, especially in the next day, lots of calculations. Can you see what I did? Can you see what I did on this question here? Okay. We calculated a 3.27% change in the bond, and I told you that the bond had been trading for $9.50. What is its price after delta y, and the triangle, of course, we call it delta. We call it delta, and what it does, it's just a way mathematically of saying the change in. So whenever I write that triangle, it means the change in. The change. We use that a lot. It's the change. Anybody have any questions on this? This could be 2 questions on the next exam. All right, it's important. We all good on this one right here? Good. All right. Let me go to the next one.